from Xtreme Xperience. This is Ed, he's one of our fleet technicians, and this is John Raymond, who's been one of our lead instructors and now is overall with our safety. And so both these guys know a ton about a car that has been in our fleet a long time and is behind us, the 991 GT3, and are very excited about the 992 GT3. We figured why not ask them some questions about both of these cars, get some of their intel, and maybe argue a little bit along the way. So first impressions, 992 was released, everybody's talking about it. What do you think? JR, go first.
Well, the one I got to see was blue, and it was absolutely gorgeous. I got into the technical side of things, and I'm excited to chat about that and a friendly conversation in a little bit. But it is an absolutely gorgeous car that has been redesigned from the ground up. It took some key elements out of the 991.2 GT3 that's in the background over there, and it upped them, but it also redesigned a lot with the suspension and the chassis and a couple other key features that we're going to talk about in a minute. So it is a very exciting car that's going to be coming out on sale soon, right?
May, I think May they said when it's going to be starting to be delivered. So what that means for Xtreme Xperience, who knows? Maybe June, maybe July. I don't know. Ed, first thoughts.
If you look at some of the small details, it's what really kind of reason why I like it. Like, for instance, the rear taillights, if you look at like an old Porsche, like a 930, has solid all the way across, kind of like how the old school air-cooleds do it. And even small parts of the dash kind of bring an homage back to the old air-cooleds, which I'm a big fan of the old air-cooleds. And when they add little key features like that, and it makes it nice touches.
So we'll use that to go forward a little bit. There's a couple of things that are very noticeable on the back side.
Of course.
One is there's a wing that's upside down. Ask about that. And then two is lights, air intakes. That was a 991 to 992 switch. The way that the air intakes in the back were. What does this car look like? What does it mean for performance, handling, all those good things? Either person jump in.
So, the biggest thing is the swan neck wing, so to speak, on the back. And what that means is the actual wing, the platform in the back, is now supported from the top. So the pressure will end up being on top, and instead of a traditional wing where the air goes over the top of the wing, which pushes the back of the car into the ground, the actual downforce is being created by the air that goes underneath the wing, sucking the car to the ground. This is going to create better downforce for the driver in any kind of high-speed environment, allowing you to take those sweeping corners at closer to flat out or a little bit faster, and you're going to have the confidence that the car is going to have that grip. And it's going to stay planted underneath you the entire time you're on the racetrack. So that's actually really exciting that they have implemented that into their street car, because that technology is only found traditionally in the world of race cars. On the RSR race car that Porsche has been using for years and has been very successful with, that's one of the most noticeable elements they have implemented from the race car onto their street car. And I think it looks fantastic.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, one thing also about the swan neck or the swan wing is that it was first introduced in like Le Mans races, 24-hour Le Mans races meant for all out, all the time, and then F1 started using it, and now Porsche is deciding to use it on, like you said, a street car.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, even when a couple years down the road, when they decided to do an RS model, it's going to be absolutely insane.
Yeah, that brings up a really good point, which is in the press release that Porsche put out is that they had a more close collaboration between Porsche and Porsche Motorsport, which speaks, I think we would all agree, really good things for this car, as well as, well, what does the future hold for? We have a GT3 RS, the 991 behind us, as well as the GT3 991 behind us. That green car takes this car on and puts it on steroids. What does that mean for, I don't know, call it next year or in 2 years when a 992 GT3 RS comes out? What do we dream about? What's that car going to be like?
Insane.
Yeah.
I mean, at that point, that's already, with the RS in the background, that's already a track car of the showroom, and they're right now making a, let's say, touring car, which they don't have a touring model yet, but they're already making a street car that's track ready out of the factory, So when they put that RS badge and they do their RS tweaks, it's going to be absolutely insane. It's going to be wild and different, but what they're going to do, I don't know, because they're already changing so much. Like from aerodynamics downforce. Uses the flat 4 out of the old, the GT cars?
I believe so.
So the 4 liter out of the GT car. So I mean, that's already a 9,000 RPM revving engine.
Yeah.
So your power band is huge and all the way through. So I mean, it's
says
ready to go.
it says the revs, the tach goes to 10,000 with the red line starting at 9,000, which I just want to see that. I want to sit in there and go
all the way.
right.
It's keep going.
Yeah,
Keep going.
It looks stunning.
Porsche themselves have said that the setup on this car is actually going to be a larger setup. So the wheels are going to be bigger, they're going to be wider, the brakes are going to be wider than even what we have on the standard GT3 RS that we have today, which is the 991.2. What's really interesting about adding so much more, the wheels being bigger, the brakes being bigger, the bigger
Wider
wing,
front
everything.
axle, I believe, too.
The whole car itself
Yeah, right.
is now a bigger car. The actual chassis itself is a bigger chassis. However, it still maintains the rigidity and the same style of lightness that you want going around a corner when you're on the racetrack or you're doing some spirited driving on the back roads or mountain roads, whatever it is. Everything that I have gotten from Porsche and from the people who have been lucky enough to test it so far say that it stays very, very neutral on the racetrack. There isn't a whole lot of body roll, and even when you're under hard braking, you're not the nose isn't diving down to the front or anything, which is impressive because when you start adding these bigger and larger components to the car, you start adding weight, the car starts to get sloppy, but that is not at all what we've heard from this end. It's actually been a bigger, more balanced, more capable, competent car to actually take on the racetrack.
I'm just so curious of like this feels like it, but then again, that car felt like it, right? Like it didn't feel
Well,
like
at one point, that car felt like it, and
Sure.
then it got that.
That's true.
They always find a way to make things bigger and better. The interior is a lot more streamlined. The center console, all the way from the dash. I think you can probably point out on this one about the shift lights.
Yeah, I mean, they did implement a new dash style setup. You got 3 driving modes. I believe it was normal, sport, and
What's it, race, wasn't it?
yeah, it was track. I believe it was normal, sport, track. There's a lot of new additions to the interior like that, and I believe this is coming with an optional manual transmission as well, which is not something we were able to easily access with the traditional GT3 of the past.
Did you say a manual trans?
I did.
So we're gonna get a manual trans, and well, not that, but in a GT3.
Yes, finally.
which was a really big deal last time around when there wasn't a manual transmission.
But it's not a bad
This
thing.
massive outcry.
But it wasn't a bad thing. The PDK is the PDK for a reason. It's tried and true. I mean, it's an amazing trans. But Porsche purists, the manual trans is bad.
Here's the interesting thing I saw about this was it's like special order from the factory.
Yeah.
So it's still like we respect you. This is the way of the future.
But now, it's an option.
It is an option, exactly. I'm curious. The sub 7-minute ring time. That's the big thing that they like touted in the press release. I imagine that was with the PDK.
Better performance, the PDK is the way to go. You're going to have a lot of Porsche purists, and I'll be the same way to say, is the manual trans is going to be more enjoyable. You're going to be able to, just enjoy it more and do more. But when you're on the track and you're trying to go for lap times, or you're trying to race JR, I'll lose. But I'm going to want that PDK. Can't shift faster than the PDK transmission does, and there's no way I can get away with it.
that's a good closing point. Is what, like, this car is all about giving Porsche enthusiasts what they want, right?
Yeah, they listened because they wanted the manual trans back. You know, a lot of them were, disappointed that there wasn't going to be a manual trans for the 991s, and they listened.
Yep.
And this is going to do really, really good.
I imagine it'll only be about 10% max of those, maybe 5% of those that are actually sold as a manual, and the rest are going to be on tracks, beating lap times,
Yes.
being HPDs. They're going to be with us hopefully one day that people will be able to drive them. So anything like that. Thank you for your time. Last closing regards on this car, personal take, and if you're excited to drive it, where are you excited to drive it, and anything else you want to say, but in 30 seconds, go.
I'm excited, very excited. Definitely different route they're going with. Big fan, can't wait to drive it. Honestly, shout out Autobahn. Home track, can't wait to drive it there.
What I'm most excited for with this car is it's a new benchmark. So it's not even the hottest version of what it's going to be. The stats are already staggering. It comes from factory with 50% more downforce without affecting the drag coefficient, and in maximum attack, you're at 150% more downforce than in the old school RS that we have over here. And what's so exciting is that's not even its final form. There's going to be a hotter version that comes out after that, and then another one after that.
Yeah.
And we are pushing the limits already. So it's very exciting to see how that's going to be. I'm looking forward to getting the chance just to get behind the wheel of it on any racetrack I can. I want to see what that thing is like to drive. I want to see how that compares to the traditional 991.2 GT3 RS that we have. And then I want to see what the 992 GT3 is going to be like with a 992 GT3 RS, if that is truly to come out. But I'm excited.
There's a lot to come for sure. It reminds me of when we had the C8 Corvette and it was like mid-engine, everyone thoughts up in the air, but there's a lot more to come, right? Like that, that same thing of like, okay, we're kind of excited about this car, but we're really excited about what this could mean. We're really excited about this car. What does that mean for the future?
Yeah.
Sure.
And so I think that's where we'll leave it. We will we'll say goodbye. If this part makes it into the video, thanks for watching. I'm Aaron, that's Ed, that's JR. You can find all of us at Xtreme Xperience. Hopefully you come and drive a supercar with us. You can drive any one of these cars with us on a racetrack. If you're just watching this and you like YouTube videos, then I hope you subscribe to our YouTube channel because we keep making a lot of cool stuff and more people should watch it. And same thing, go on Instagram, give us a follow there, follow us, and we'd love to talk to you more and hear what you want to hear from us and talk to us about. So that's it. Bye.
That was a long run-on sentence.
Yeah, that was a long 30 seconds. Oh, might I add really quick?
One person claps.
No, we
If
don't.
everybody
One,
claps, you're not going to be able to.
2, 3. So anything like that.
You
What's
got
up,
it.
man?
Yeah, I'll take it.
Yeah.
There you go, man.
Thanks.
All right, guys, have a good one.
You too.
Is there a Porsche in there?
Yeah. Surprise ending of the video.
You recording?
Yes!
Sorry, I didn't have takes.